Okay, completely live and unedited. Here's an installation of TeamViewer. I have TeamViewer on my computer, but I uninstalled it, but I elected to keep my settings, so that'll change what appears when I reinstall the program. The session is being recorded with Cam Studio. Here it is right down here. It's a neat little free window capture screen utility that'll do video on many different codecs. I'm using the Microsoft codec right now. I'm going to open up my browser, which is Google Chrome, mine of choice. Type in TeamViewer, go to teamviewer.com. Click on download, and click on Windows, because that's what I have, Windows 7. And it's already downloaded. We're going to run it. I'm going to click on Run. We're going to click on Install. And we'll allow it permission. Personal and non-commercial use, free for that. And we're going to agree to accept the terms and agree that it's going to be used for non-commercial. And we're going to click, do you want to access the computer remotely? And we're going to click yes, that's very important. And click on next. It's going to install the program here. And now we're going to click on Set Up Unattended Access. Now if I can sort of scoot this window over here, you see that it already comes with a per session ID number and a password. And if you were to just skip the Set Up Unattended Access, you could just provide this number and this password on a per session basis and give it to someone, and they could use TeamViewer to connect to your computer. If you like the ability to set up unattended access or set it up unattended access on a more semi-permanent basis, you can click on next here, and you can, this will default to whatever your computer name is that when you installed your operating system, but you can change that to anything you want. And you can create a password and confirm it there. And so you could call it, I don't know, Buttercup or something like that, and create a simple password that you can remember and share that with someone and then change it later. Or you can just provide them with this and that. And you see that I'm keeping my settings, so I've already got a username and a password, because I'm just going to click on next here. And you see it's already knows that I have a password. Because I've saved my settings. And I already have a TeamViewer account, but you can even click on I don't want one, or click on cancel. And I'll show you what happens if you do create an account. When I sign in, that's me right there, and those are all the partners that I connect to on a more regular basis. And you can see they're all offline, so I can't actually give you a demonstration of what it looks like from my end. And so that's as simple as it is. You need to provide this and that, or the username and password that you created when you create an account. And you just leave it running. But I think by default it'll run when your operating system reboots. But if it doesn't, then you could just pop up here, start typing in TeamViewer, and click on it there, and it'll pop up and ensure that it's running. And let's see, one other thing I could show you is msconfig. I'm going to go down to the clock. I'm not sure if the cursor shows up when it's down on the taskbar, so I'm going to click the start button here, and then search programs and file. I'm going to type in msconfig, and when it pops up there, I'm just going to left click it. Left click is yellow, right click is a different color. I forget what it is. You just have to give it a second to pop up here. There we go. Now the little tabs that we're interested in right now are Startup and Services. This is a little configuration utility that can be used to troubleshoot your computer when things are going totally awry, but it also has some basic settings that anyone can use. You can click on Startup, and this is a list of everything that starts up when my computer starts up. And there's 35 items here. And if you look down at the clock, there are about 17. So not everything that starts up when the computer starts up shows up down by the clock. So you can just go through this and you can just uncheck them. You see, even the ones that I've unchecked down below here, they don't remove themselves from the list. They just are disabled until I check them again. So it's a pretty safe way to make changes to your computer, because if you screw something up, just go back into msconfig and recheck the box. So it's good to know what you're unchecking before you do it, because some things may be important and some things maybe not. So that's a good way to reduce the memory load. Now in services here, we want to hide Microsoft services because they have a right to be running, because they have a necessary role to play on your computer. So we're going to hide those. So that'll shorten the list to everything that does not belong to Microsoft. And if I was to go through here to reduce memory load, I could get rid of things like Acrobat Update Service and Active File Monitor and FlexNet licensing, iReboot. I don't use that often. Nero Update. What the heck is that doing on there? I need to uncheck that. Rojo Disk Service. I don't really use that. I'll uncheck that too. OpenVPN I do. SB Recovery I use, and things to do with video drivers and stuff and audio, better leave them alone. And now another thing, if you see something that you don't know what it is, like SB Recovery Service or like GFI software, I know what that is, but if there's something here like unknown, an OpenVPN service, or something you don't recognize, to be on the safe side, you might want to do a Google search on it first and see if it's necessary to the smooth operation of your computer, especially if you have like a proprietary computer, like one assembled by HP. They'll have some bloatware that they need to run down here. Now I'm going to just click on OK here, and because I've made a change, it gives me the option to restart. The changes won't occur until you restart. I'm just going to exit without a restart for this. Now if you do click on restart or exit without a restart, the next time you start your computer, it'll give you a warning that you've made changes using msconfig, and it'll give you an option to start up a recovery program if you need to, but you can just ignore that because you know, you're just doing that without a serious problem having occurred beforehand. So I'm just going to close that there. So I'm just going to click on the taskbar, right click on the taskbar and select Task Manager. And you can see here services. These are services that are currently either running or stopped. You can click on status to see what's going now, or name if you want to sort it by name. And processes. These are the things that are processes that are currently running, and applications that are running. And performance will show your memory load. I've got quite a bit of memory, so as a percentage, you know, my memory load isn't very great. Even with like 35 items running, it's only you know, 4 gigs out of many. However, if you have an average computer with 4 gigs of memory available, you can see that the memory load could creep right up there, not leave you much wiggle room, right? So that's something to bear in mind. So I'll just close that there. I think that'll pretty well end our session. I'll try to get it up to YouTube or something so that you can view it. Anyway, cheerio. Right click and stop.